Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? How you doing? I just wanted to hop on here really quickly because oh, you guys, um, this stuff here is like the best cheap find ever. If you wash your hands as often as I do, this stuff here, I'm thinking it's new, I've never seen it before, but I actually have um, a couple of bottles at home of this stuff because it's so good. It's so good. I'm telling you guys, it has hyaluronic acid. Just really quickly, if you aren't aware, what's that mean, right? Hyaluronic acid, if you don't know, basically it retains moisture, okay? And also it protects your collagen fibers. And what are those, right? So basically, collagen fibers help with the elasticity in your skin. So just real quick. Okay, so this stuff is really good. It's called Hydro Boost Neutrogena Hand Cream. But I really do love the lotion. All right, so that's enough of that. This video isn't about that. This video is about a couple of things, but I also, before we move on to the actual point of this video, I do just want to say that I am so very grateful for all of your posts, all of your responses. Underneath my Mother's Day giveaway upload, I just want you guys to know that I read each and every single comment, and they really do tug at my heartstrings. It just really, I connect with every single one of them on a very, very personal level because, as you know, I am a mom. So hence the reason why I want to do this giveaway, because I'd like to help someone celebrate their Mother's Day and, you know, kind of alleviate some of the financial burden, I guess, so to speak, just to kind of lighten up the load. Okay. So just a little bit, just a token of my appreciation to you as my subscribers. Thank you so much. You guys know how much I appreciate you, and if you don't, it's a lot. It's a great deal. It's beyond words. Okay, so let's move on to the purpose of this video. Okay, so let's talk about communication. Right? I just want to share a couple of things. Maybe more. I don't know. None of my videos are scripted, so whatever comes out of my mouth, it's just on the fly, right? So, how do you communicate effectively? Disclaimer, I'm not perfect. I do remind myself of these things as well. So, and I am certainly no expert. Okay, but first things first, and this is in no particular order, okay? Louder does not mean correct, okay? Just because you have trouble or you lack the ability to effectively get your point across does not mean that it's going to make it any more right if you raise your voice. Louder does not mean correct. And if you are trying to get your point across, if you're being loud, the other person has already lost interest, right? Because then there's a certain level of respect there that's non-existent, right? It's completely thrown out the window. Okay, so yeah, louder does not mean correct. Secondly, stay away from toxic individuals. Do not tolerate toxic traits. Silent treatment is very toxic. I don't know what you've been told, where you heard it from, but you completely check out and stop speaking to your partner, your spouse, whomever, a friend. Understand that that's very toxic. It's very toxic. It doesn't resolve anything. It just creates voids. It creates voids. You're basically creating a bigger and bigger and bigger hole that's going to be a lot harder to patch, right? Now, I am not saying do not step away from the conversation, right? Excuse me. No, that's perfectly fine. If you feel as though, you know what, this is, if you feel as though you've reached an impasse, okay, right? Or you feel as though it's about to just spiral out of control, fine, walk away, all right? What I'm referring to as silent treatment is basically acting as though the person doesn't exist, not speaking for longer than 24 hours, a couple days, a few days, weeks, months, right? Because it's bogus to say, okay, yeah, I'm not ready to speak, okay? That's fine, right? But you actually have, if you care enough and if you love the person, you actually have to put forth conscious effort into abbreviating the period that you are not there for them, okay? Because this is a partnership. It's not about you. It's about the two of you, right? Because if or should your relationship fail, one person doesn't fail a relationship, because a relationship is a partnership. So one person does not fail a relationship. It takes two people to fail a relationship, right? So you can't just disappear, poof, be gone, because let's say it doesn't, it takes you months to finally be ready to speak, right? So you're just going to be checked out for months. So you're just going to allow your partner to feel abandoned, neglected, unappreciated, unloved, uncared for, and most especially unheard. That's toxic. That is toxic. Don't believe when people say, okay, well, you speak whenever you're ready. Okay, take as much time as you need to. No. BS. No. You have to put forth conscious effort into kind of speeding up that process. Because you could take a long time to finally be able to speak, right? And to me, honestly, I don't think that's okay. I don't believe that is okay. All right? Because a person could take a long time. And depending on the other person's love language, they could feel so alone that they start to question, right, the relationship. Okay? So that's what I mean by it's going to create voids, and it's going to create a deeper hole, a bigger hole. It's going to be harder to patch up later on. I mean, that's toxic. That is toxic behavior. Okay? All right? I believe that conflict should not last longer than 24 hours. I know that that's not always feasible. I know that. This is real life, okay? But that's really what I believe, that it should not last longer than 24 hours, right? I think that both parties should be willing to put forth conscious effort into reconnecting, okay? So, again, let's recap. Louder does not mean correct. Silent treatment is toxic. Okay? Stop playing victim. Okay? Allow the other person, when you're trying to resolve an issue, okay, when you're trying to address something and you hear the other person out and they let you know where they stand, right? Listen. But don't just listen for the sake of listening. Listen with empathy, right? Listen with the understanding that they require, okay? Because the level of understanding you may require may not be the same as the other person's, right? So listen with understanding their required level of understanding, okay? Stop playing victim and don't make it about you. If they're trying to express themselves and they're trying to let you know what's wrong, okay, that's fine. Effective communication does not mean throwing it back and saying, well, you did this too. Wait a minute. Two panels, right? There are two panels right now, okay? One person has the floor. Wait for your turn, right? Listen with the intent to understand what it is that they're trying to say, because there is absolutely nothing worse than feeling unheard, okay? If you are not going to listen with empathy and you're not going to try and understand them, there is no need to talk about it, right? So then speak your piece, right? When it's your turn, speak your piece. And just ask, okay, well then, if it's irrelevant to what you're talking about, but you really want to talk about something else that's bothering you, then ease that on in, right? And maybe you can ask, well, may I share what's bothering me? You know? Effective communication is making suggestions. Criticizing someone else, they basically just turn you off at that point, right? So you can say things like, well, it really hurts me when you do this. I don't feel loved when you do this. I don't feel heard when you do this. It makes me sad when you do this. You know, don't be so hasty to just throw stones at the other person and just start playing the victim game and the blame game. No, that's not effective communication. You know, and never, ever try to don't even think about taking it personal, right? Or making it personal and be condescending because your point is not getting across, because you don't know how to get your point across, or the other person can't quite understand what it is that you're saying, right? There's no need to personally attack that person. That's not effective communication. And here's a key point, right? An apology means absolutely nothing without changed behavior, okay? Because basically your apology is empty, okay? And changed behavior equates to consistency. you can't just change when it's convenient for you, right? But you have to be consistent because you apologized. So you're basically letting the person know that I understand, I've hurt you, and I want to do better. But then how do you do better if you're not being consistent? So an apology means nothing without changed behavior. So it's not easy because you really have to, you have to commit to that, okay? You have to be fully committed. And we're human. We are all flawed, perfectly flawed. But again, you have to make it a priority. You got to make it a priority. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. But basically, you got to be committed to change, all right? You have to be committed to change, okay? It's not easy. It's no mean feat, but it can be done. It's very much possible. There's so many things, right? There are so many key points to effective communication. But I don't really want to drag on. Maybe I'll do a part 2. What else is there? Ego, pride, right? This kind of references silent treatment, okay? In a way, it has an affinity to ego and pride, right? It can be attributed to that, right? Why the silent treatment? Because your ego was hurt, okay? Because you're too proud to let your guard down, right? And so, therefore, you distance yourself. You break away, which is unhealthy. You know, in order to have effective communication, you just have to throw pride out the window. Okay, you have to. You have to. Okay? How can you communicate effectively if you're too proud? How can you communicate effectively if you are too proud? Okay, because no one's perfect, okay? And the people who suffer from superiority complex, who are pompous, you're going to have a difficult time communicating effectively with those people because they think they're always right. But newsflash, okay? Newsflash, that is not always the case, all right? So if you yourself are unable to assume accountability, you got to do some self-reflection. You have to. Because you got to be able to compartmentalize what has gotten you to the point of just poor communication, right? What was your part in it? What was their part in it? And take the proper steps in order to fix whatever needs fixing, right? But like I said, I was going to be quick, but something just basically inspired me to do this, and I hope that this was somewhat helpful. And if you can relate, give me a thumbs up. If you thought this was helpful and you somewhat learned from it, give me a thumbs up. I mean, if you want me to do more of these videos. But before I forget, I meant to mention this earlier when I was talking about the giveaway. Please follow the mechanics of the giveaway. Okay? I thoroughly enjoy all of your responses. There's not one comment that I didn't appreciate. Every single one has been heartfelt and it means a lot to me, and I thank you for sharing. But please, like I said, follow the giveaway mechanics, which is to describe using only 5 sentences why motherhood is special for you. And if you aren't a mom, describe what makes your mom special using only 5 sentences. I know that is difficult to do, but that's the mechanics of the game, because I figured a lot of you would have great responses, and any one of us could elaborate on that, right? Whether you're a mom or you have a mom and you want to talk about your mom. I know that we could talk about that for a long time and have a very lengthy description or explanation, right? And so that's why I made it only 5 sentences. Okay, I'm still reading all your responses up until Mother's Day. Actually, the night before Mother's Day, before I choose the best answer. And I just want to say once again, thank you so much. By the way, we are almost at goal of 1K subscribers. Yay! Thanks to all of you. So it got here pretty quickly. That means another giveaway. Thank you guys for rocking with me. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Love, love, love.